Alright, we're going to learn a new form for writing the equation of a line called point-slope form. Before they do that, I want to review with you just the steps that we learned today for writing the equation in slope-intercept form with the slope given and a point given, so you can review the process that we talked about today in class. So at this point, I would like you to pause the video and see if you can write the equation of the line with a slope of a half that goes through the point two steps that we did in class today and leaving your answer in slope-intercept form. Now that you have done that, I'm going to reveal for you the steps and the answer that you hopefully were able to get, and you should have gotten to a point where your equation read y equals 1/2 x plus 2. If you did not write that equation correctly, I encourage you to pause the video and go back through the steps that I have done here and see that they match the steps that you have done and see if you can figure out where you went wrong. Next, before we talk about our point-slope form, again, just want to review slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. And remember that the name of the form indicates what's in it. So in this equation, we have the slope, which is the m, and we have the y-intercept, which is this b. So slope-intercept form has in it the slope and the intercept, which then will bring us to this new form called point-slope form, which obviously, if the name holds, that it has in it a point and a slope. So the slope again is m. M is always going to be our slope. The point in this formula is the x1 and the y1 as an ordered pair. So this x and this y will actually stay in the equation, giving me the x and the y like this one has, and the y1 and the x1 will actually be numbers from an ordered pair. And so if we look back at the question up above and we want to use this new equation using that information, we would leave the y and we would go y minus the y coordinate of the ordered pair, so 3, equals the slope 1/2 with parentheses then x minus whatever the x coordinate of our ordered pair is. So up above it is a 2. That equation is now in point-slope form. And again, sometimes it's going to be acceptable to leave it like that. Sometimes we'll have to go to standard form. But for now, we just want to be able to write the equation in point-slope form. So it's very similar to slope-intercept form. If they give you the two pieces that they need, slope and a point, it's very easy to put these equations into point-slope form. That will bring us to example 1. Write the equation in point-slope form. So we're allowed to leave it in point-slope form. It goes through the point -1, 4, and it has a slope of -2. So the question you have to ask yourself is, do I have the two pieces of information that I need to write the equation of a line in point-slope form? And the answer is yes. All you need is the point and the slope. So we're going to start again with y minus, and we use the y coordinate. So in this case, the y coordinate is the 4, equals, we need the slope next, -2, and then we need the x minus, and we have to here minus the x value, which is a -1. We do not want to leave our equation in this format. Y minus 4 equals -2, and we're going to change the double negative minus a negative to a +1. And so you will get to the point where you really won't even write this. When you're subtracting a negative, you're going to automatically just turn it to plus. So this is definitely the preferred answer that I would want to have on my paper. Example 2 is going to extend this idea just a little bit. Write the equation in point-slope form, so we're still leaving it in point-slope form, for the line that goes through the points -1, 3 and 1, 1. And again, I encourage you to think about that question. What do you need to use point-slope form? You need, number 1, a slope, and number 2, a point. I have a point. I actually have 2 points. I will end up being able to choose whichever point I want to use, and the issue right now is that I do not have a slope. So then the question is, how do you find it? Well, remember, you find the slope by taking y, and this is going to be a little bit tedious because I have to get to my subscripts. So I take y2, which is the second y, or one of the y numbers. and I subtract the other y number. And again, I apologize that I have to do all the subscript stuff to make it look correct. Over the same exact thing, but with the x value subtracted. And so I'm going to get this so that it says x2, and then we have to take that, I have to take my font off, minus x, and we need a subscript 1. So remember, the big thing here is that you keep your ordered pairs together so that you put your y here with a matching x here, but that our y's go first. So if we were to do this process, on the top I would do 3 minus, oops, I still have subscript on, sorry about that. I would do 3 minus 1, and for my x's, I need to start in the first ordered pair, so that x is a negative 1, and again my subscript is still on, so I have to take that off. I would start in the first ordered pair, which is negative 1, and I'm going to subtract 1. This would give me a slope of 2 over negative 2, which is equal to negative 1. And then I have a point. I can choose negative 1, 3, or 1, 1, and it won't matter. And so what will happen is I will actually take either answer. So one of you might choose to do y minus 3, which is using this first ordered pair, equal x minus, we have to do the x coordinate that goes with. I'm looking at this ordered pair using the 3 for y and the negative 1 for x. Because I'm subtracting a negative, I will actually write plus 1. Or I could write y minus 1 equals negative 1 for my slope. And now I'm using this ordered pair, so I've used the y as 1. I'm going to use my x as 1 as well. And it's not that you need to have both of these answers, you just need to have one. And so again, the only change in this procedure is that number 1, you actually have to calculate the slope using your formula. And the second thing is that you have to pick which point you use. So not everyone will have the same equation for point slope form. When we go to standard form, you'll see that these will both rearrange to the exact same standard form. Okay, with that in mind, what I would like you to do before you come to class tomorrow is have done example 3 and taken and copied basically the steps that we did up above to write the equation of the line that goes through 2, 2, or 2, 3, and 4, 4. So you're doing example 3 as your job for tomorrow.